Hi, my name is Huda Fahmy. I am the author and illustrator behind the YA graphic novel series, Who the F Are You? The National Book Award finalist for Young People's Literature, Who the F Cares? And the third book in the series, Who the F Wants to Know? I am also the author and illustrator behind the adult comic book, Yes, I'm Hot in This, and the adult graphic memoir, That Can Be Arranged. Now, this is the only one that I tell people is 100% based on actual events. This is an actual memoir, and I say that because kids are always asking me, like, are these books real? Does this really happen to you? Is this a real story? Do you actually? And so I like to tell people, well, the Who the F series is semi-autobiographical. That Can Be Arranged is a graphic memoir, which is a fun jumping off point for when I go to do kids, when I do school visits and I get to talk to the kids about the difference between a memoir and a semi-autobiographical story that is based on someone's life. It's a lot of fun, though, to get to write about stories that are based on my life, and just getting to write about a visibly Muslim woman who wears hijab and practices Islam and loves being Muslim. And I love to do that because I get to introduce to people who've maybe never heard of Muslims before this snapshot of what it is like to be a young Muslim in America. And it's really cool when I get to do school visits and I get Muslim girls who come up to me, some who wear hijab, some who don't, and they're so excited that they get to see themselves in a book, in a graphic novel, and they've never seen themselves in those kind of books before. I remember one instance. I was in Seattle. I was doing a school visit. It was in front of hundreds of kids. And at the very end, this group of like 5 girls who were wearing hijab came up to me and were so excited that I was there to talk about my career as a graphic novelist. I got to talk about being an author and illustrator and just sharing my professional experience in the publishing industry. And they came up to me and they were like, "Miss, we thought you were going to talk about like how we're not all terrorists and you were going to like defend hijab, or that you were," and they thought it was going to be like a super serious talk, because that's just like the space that historically Muslim women have been expected to talk about. Like those are the things that we're expected to talk about, is just like, we're not terrorists and we're actually not oppressed, and this is why Islam is actually really great, and you know what, no, we're not actually like hot in that. And so they were so stoked that I got to go up there and talk about just like being an author and an illustrator, getting to talk about being an artist and an author as a potential career possibility outside of the doctor, lawyer, engineer track that our parents are usually like pushing us towards, was also just like, you could see their faces light up. And to me, that was such a motivational moment that this is why I write, and this is why I want my books to be read widely, because in the hopes that it reaches, these kind of girls. And while I do love that I write for these young Muslim girls for them to see themselves, I also know that my books are, they cover universal themes. At the same time, they're also very educational for readers who maybe have never met a Muslim before, who've never met a hijabi before. And I remember another event where a reader came up to me and she wasn't Muslim. And you could tell she was really shy, and it took a lot, I think, for her to come up to me. And she said, "I really like your abaya," which is a word that I introduce in the books, and it's just the long dress that I wear. And I could tell that the word was really new in her mouth, and yet the compliment was so sincere and it was so sweet, because as a Muslim who wears hijab, who wears abaya, I don't remember the last time I've ever had a non-Muslim complimented and use the right language. And so, it's always been like, "Oh, I like your dress," or "I like what you're wearing," which is also so sweet. But to hear this young girl, this young reader come up to me and compliment my abaya and use it correctly was so heartwarming. And again, motivational, just like getting to see both these sides of types of readers. So motivational for me, and to continue writing and to see myself, and hopefully for them to see themselves represented in the books, and also to learn more about what different cultures and how different cultures practice and live. Thank you.